Welcome, welcome to Winning Generation episode 2. So, we're glad you're here. Roger decided we gotta talk about authenticity, and I don't wanna bubble. Roger, you can bubble first.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Let's talk about it. So today is January the 29th, correct? And
I don't know.
we're all consciousness. We never know how that's going to come about, and I have hidden mine for the longest time. We're never going to be the same people. We're never going to evolve the same way. We're never going to develop the same abilities or talents. And when we hide them, it becomes difficult for us. It becomes difficult for us and for everyone else because we're meant to do something. So yesterday, after we were done, I happened to look at the message for from Wilhelm on my site for January the 29th, and I said I was shocked because there was a channeling session there, and it said that you're going to understand this today. It was a year ago. And I've said that I had this synchronicity, and I say it all the time. I downloaded the order of the universe, and I can look day by day and know what's going on. So I knew what was happening in our world. I knew the generational changes that we were moving through. I knew all of that, but to own it and tell people was too challenging because I was like this crazy person. How did I do this? And then no one else had done this. There are no other channelers, no other anyone who has done it. And I'll just tell you, because in 2021, when I was told I had this information and we were going to move through this, they told me also, I'm talking about Wilhelm, my guides, and they said, and if you meet someone, we've given you a message on their birthday in 2012. I thought that makes no sense at all. And they said, yes, because everything is organized and we've given you the information. They said, how did you heal? How did you move through everything? I'm 75. I've healed absolutely everything. And they said, because all the information we have given you was to change your world. You've healed and everybody else could do it. Now, and they won't believe me though. And that's been the difficulty because I couldn't say it in that way. And then it keeps showing up in ways that I couldn't even imagine. So I went to look at the video, and it said the title of the video said um, how to manifest your life fast or something like that. And the you and oh yeah, and the thumbnail said transform your world. Now I don't have any memory of creating any of that, but that was there. And when you look in the video in the description, there are all these other little what they called gifts that were put together showing all the different things that they had given me over the years about how we evolve. We evolve over time every single day. I just downloaded all from the quantum field and had no awareness that that was happening. And then when I first started discovering it, I thought I'm in a different dimension here. How is this happening? And then I have years ago, people said, Roger, they started sensing something. They said, you should be charging so much money. I couldn't do it. I wasn't doing it, but I knew that it would help any single person who would go through this work. And then I even had the results of it. But then they said, and you can hear it right in this video, in this channeling session from a year ago, they said, you all have cognitive dissonance. You can't believe something that you haven't seen before. And that's what I was doing. And I said, okay, so then, okay, wait a minute, this gets better. So then I looked at tomorrow. Tomorrow's message says you will have more freedom today because see, you break through from holding back. And then I can go to the next day and see what that says. And it says now from liberation to abundance. All of that, it was in order. And then I go back and I see that I had done that a few days, maybe a week ago. I saw that all of January was in alignment and I wrote it all down and published it, but then I didn't look at it. And no one else looked at it either because I published it, but people wouldn't have seen it and it didn't make sense to them. But that is when we
Mm-hmm.
come into alignment, we heal. And that's what our world needed. And I had it.
Awesome.
Wow.
Anja.
I feel so honored to be here, and listening to this because the word organized is not really the first thing that comes up, like when we're talking about today's world.
That's
And
it.
so when
Yeah.
we, yeah, when we actually hear that, that there is organization
Yes.
behind everything, there is some kind of order, and everything is going to be okay. Everything is okay, and everything has already been done.
Yes.
So basically, we are just living the experience. Um, yeah, that is really good for my nervous system. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Thank you.
the point they said we go through evolutionary changes and they happen in consciousness, and when that happens we're all affected differently, and those changes are always involving um, power struggles. We can go, and they had me go back looking at history, and then they said in history there are galactic changes that will happen at certain times, and I had downloaded them all, had no, and then they started showing me the astrological configurations. I'd never studied astrology, I had never done any of that, but they were all there, and they had me, artificial intelligence started showing me that this was all aligned. But people will look at this, and I see people struggling a lot, and I thought, I know that you don't have to do this because I went through it every day. That was the other thing I think that became my own frustration, because I sat down every single day for 37 years receiving this information. And then and this point of it was so that other people wouldn't have to struggle as much. But we keep doing it. And it was me not owning it. So that's why I had to be authentic today.
We are so happy that you are. We are so happy that you are. Yeah, let's take a deep breath in.
Mm-hmm.
Really embrace all this.
Yeah, and I can invite everyone to just take a moment and breathe, like inhale deeply and exhale slowly, because each breath that we take consciously allows us to be in the moment, and we stop thinking and we start being. When we're focusing on something, like focused attention, and I will let Roger talk about this topic in just a bit. Then we're here, like we often are so many times at other places, but not here, because we think about what has happened or what could happen or what we would like to do now instead of just being in the moment. So like if you don't know how to center yourself, just place a hand on your chest, one on your stomach, and inhale deeply inside your stomach and exhale slowly. It is such a simple way of anchoring yourself in the moment. And Roger, focused attention. If I go on any advice for today,
Oh yeah, you'll probably
any
find a
advice
bunch of.
for today.com, how do I find the
If you just put in the search bar at the top, you just put in, and it'll come up. If you put in focused attention, you'll get a lot of information. And that's the other thing that I didn't understand. They said, because I don't look at it, they said if you put in anything you want to know, you'll see all the information that was there. They said we've given you an encyclopedia of personal development, of self-actualization, of ascension tools, and all you have to just search them. You won't go through them, and you won't ingest it all, but I've written it all. That was the other thing that came up. They said I've written more than the Bible.
yeah, maybe more truth.
And so then, for no accidents, I had a private client yesterday, and I said, "Oh, hi, great," and I'm working with her, and it's just, yeah, I was here before. I never remember, and that came through in the channeling session as well. This is why I don't. They said that's why I don't see people. I don't look at them, because I'm accessing their soul. They said, and this was in that channeling session, we don't want to know anything about your race, your gender, your age, nothing, because it's about your soul.
I don't know. There was one, Roger, with focused attention. I wanted to read this one, but I can't find it.
The website is I think it's any advice.
Yes.
Any advice for today? I'm on the website.
Yeah.
I typed
Yeah.
in
Well,
focused attention, but
well,
it's
I'll find it in the mail. Let me find it in the
exactly. And we keep going, and then you can send it to me on WhatsApp or so, and I will read it.
okay.
Um, yeah, it's such a blessing to have you here, um, Roger. And you
Oh
know,
no, this is
when
not
you've
just
been
you.
when you've been featured on Gaia, I was like, wow, like congratulations, because like you were working on this stuff, like maybe unconsciously, who knows, for such a long time, and like came out with this, like stopped hiding basically with 70 years old. Like you're such an inspiration for people who are like who think they're too late or they
Oh,
missed the
right.
point or
Yes.
anything like that. Um, and how many people of us like how many of us think like this? Or I haven't done anything that I actually wanted to do because I were hiding or I haven't trusted myself
Right.
enough, or I listened to what other people said and they denied my greatness or whatever. But it's never too late. And even what happens when you start being yourself and come out of your hiding,
Hmm.
you start healing. And like Roger healed like his cluster headaches, which they say you cannot heal them. Um, his walking is getting better and better after his
Hmm.
like parts of his foot got taken off. So like, and his body is rearranging itself naturally because he started to be himself. And this is something we all gotta contemplate about how valuable it is actually to believe in ourselves. Yeah.
And that was it, coming into alignment, and that was the message for, oh, okay. That was the message that they said they gave me last year on this date. They said, you will align more today. That was from last year on this date. And I just thought,
Yeah, I have the writing now. So Roger wrote this one on October 18th, 2012. Your focused attention is a powerful gift you have been given, but many times you are unaware of how you are using it. Focused attention means where your conscious or present moment awareness decides to direct your energy. Energy is what creates or manifests anything physical. The difficulty you have is observing where you are now and focusing your attention there, instead of using that focused attention in manner that creates what you truly desire to experience, manifest, or create. As you study this concept more closely and accept the premise behind it, your logical thinking will make sense of it, and you will begin to use your focused attention in a different manner. So, Roger, what I would like for you to do is to bring Wilhelm in right now
mhm.
and to have Wilhelm talk about focused attention.
Oh, good. Hmm. Well, this is a perfect day for us to speak about that because our messenger hasn't been doing it as much. And so he becomes a great example for you all because you forget. You forget that you have this power and this ability within you. And all you have to do is just decide to stop for a moment and say, what do I want? Let me put my attention there instead of everything that I don't want and all of my past that I keep referring to. And you all do that. Your whole entire civilization, humanity does that. But this is the time that we wanted more of you to begin to practice that in a more deliberate way. As you can see, your world is moving through a great change, and you exist on the planet at this time to cause it to become what it could be. But you can only do that when you decide to have yourself become what you could be. The thing that we wanted for all of you is to love yourself. Now, our messenger becomes a great example because he couldn't do that, but he also knows that he agreed to live this life so he could give you all this wonderful example of what is possible. But again, as we said the other night, or last year on this date, we said your cognitive dissonance has a problem because you won't believe certain things you haven't seen before. This is why we've given you examples of beings who have come before, who have done things that none of you have seen, and then all of a sudden you start to believe that you can. Belief is the most powerful gift as well, and that belief gets built by you practicing and using that focused attention, and that is something that is within your power. Now, we want to say this because you each will have difficulty with parts of this, because you're also dealing with your ancestors. Let's say you're dealing with generations that have come before, but you're meant to transcend that. But what you're witnessing in your world is so many who were not willing to go that, because you become afraid, you fear the unknown, and the unknown is where everything is that you want. There are no limits to what any of you could achieve if you decided that you were going to follow your guidance, because all we do is awaken your inner guidance. We're not telling you anything to do. We're just giving you the tools that you can use to begin to create and manifest the lives that you want, because that will create the world. You're all doing it. It's never anybody out there. It's not your governments. It's not any of that. It's each of you. And so now you have the great opportunity with the energies that have just changed today, by the way, that you could start to use this in a much greater way to your benefit and for the benefit of your world. Thank you.
Yeah, we thank you. Amazing. Good that you're here. So, yeah, thanks, Roger. That was beautiful. So, Roger is channeling Wilhelm, like the message that I read before is channeled in one of his morning sessions, I guess. When Roger woke up from 1989, he started automatic writing. So he just intended to write basically, but what came out were those amazing messages for years. And now he is actually bringing Wilhelm on stage as well. He's been with Alex Ferrari channeling. He's been on Gaia channeling, on Next Level Soul or on Gaia TV. And it's very incredible how everything in the universe is aligned and how nothing is an accident. There's another message about the accidents and stuff like this, which we don't have to go into now, but you have to see what's possible. And I think Roger is a great example for us that it's never too late to be authentic, to be you, and to believe in who you are, because you are magnificent and you're powerful, and it's time to own that.
And so when the client that I had yesterday, after all of this, this was, again, not accidental. She had my birthday. First of all, I didn't remember her from before, which was something that happens because, I just do the work. And so I had to go back to look at the birthday message for last year on that date. And it was for everyone. Self-acceptance is still the goal. That's for each of us.
It is. Anja, yours.
On every level, self-acceptance on every level.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to talk to people about this, it's they didn't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love, people, they don't know what that means.
Right.
They don't know how does they look like. They don't know how does that feel. So when you come to that point that you feel this love, that it's just knowing. It's just knowing. Yeah. Like anybody in the world can say anything, but when you know, you know. So when you reach that point, when you really feel this love, that changes you. That changes you. That you will never be the same again. And that's the main goal. When I felt that,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else mattered.
Right.
It's me. And people call it ego. It's not ego. It's
No.
me.
Mm-mm.
It's self-love.
Mm-mm.
It's
Just
self-love.
because
I
it's
know.
powerful and is a strong force that comes through when you're
It
in
is.
that stage. And people who are in their ego say that it's your
Mm,
ego. It's
Right.
not it's not what it actually is, because arrogant people would think that you're arrogant. But it has nothing to do with arrogance if you're honest.
What
I
you're
know. I feel.
what you're saying, this I did that it was in the video. It was in that session last night because one person asked a question. This is the question answer part of this session, and they were worried that their ego was coming about. And Wilhelm says, "No, that's not it at all. You've been hiding, and so you other people will have those egos. That's not you. You wouldn't have been here. You wouldn't have been listening to us because there's a difference there." There are people who have these who do that in a different way, but then there are others of us who have been hiding for a while, who have not been willing to own who we are. And that's what was needed in the world now.
Yeah. I feel power. I feel love. I have so much love. I have so much joy. I love to share it. I love to show it,
Yeah.
and people, yeah, they see, maybe there some of them are afraid, or like what we called yesterday, too much.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, let's
Exactly.
just give each other permission to be too much, because if you cannot have too much love, you cannot have too
Hmm.
much joy, you cannot have too much, self-love.
Mm.
There's nothing like it. It's yeah.
But we each come in we limited in that it depends on our individual path and our whatever kind of generational trauma we might have moved through and how we what we were programmed with. So it's and the entire point of this was Williams, they're using me to show that it's a daily thing that you do. And when they had me put together the work, they said the reason that people fail, they think that they fail, is because they just give up, as they just don't keep going. And so they wanted us to understand that we just keep developing. It's not done. And so yeah, that was there's so much in that session. Like, I sat there and I listened to it and I was just in shock because I don't remember them, you know. And it's like, wow, everything was explained. And but that was purposeful because um if if I would have remembered it, that could have been some ego thing happening, but it was never. I was completely connected. It was really kind of shocking to listen to it, actually.
I
Yeah,
actually listened
thank
to
you.
it in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did it. Amazing. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it's like, when we commit unconditionally to who we are, then we can reach anything.
Yes.
But the question is like, what do we actually need to reach? I think it's happiness. I think
Hmm.
it's fulfillment. It is
Yeah.
it is really simple what we actually seek.
Yes.
And we don't have to go anywhere in order for us to feel that, or we don't have to reach any destination really physically,
Hmm.
because all that we have, love is here. Love is omnipresent. It is what we're made of. It's like within every single cell of our being. We're just not feeling it if we're anywhere different than in our being. And sometimes we feel the pressure of life and we don't know how to handle it. But God is pressure. That
Hmm.
what God is pressure. And we're setting ourselves under pressure to experience, to go through all of these emotions, to expand, to grow, to collect information. Because how would it be if we weren't challenging ourselves? Like if we just stay lazy on the couch eating, I don't know what people eat when they sit on the couch. I don't really want to know it anyway, you know. But it's time for us to learn what it means to be happy and how it
Right.
feels to be proactive and to pursue your dreams, because this is what it's all about, to be a winner. Like if we really want to be the winning generation, we got to learn how to win, and this is by simply being yourself, showing up for yourself authentically, learning to speak your truth, and you can do this best when you hang out with people who do the same.
The other thing that's talking about the ego, going back to that, in that session, Wilhelm pointed out that when I first made the connection, I was afraid of it because I sat there and I made this connection. I go, how am I hearing this? How is that coming through? And it frightened me. And then they started telling me, you have indeed, I don't remember the message exactly, but yes, you have uncovered this great power. But it feels as if you have this fear that your ego would use it in a detrimental way to the detriment of others or something like that. And they said the truth is it's exactly the opposite for you. The more you gain, the more you give away. But I still wasn't accepting that. And that was 1989. And I had worked through that. But again, they said because at this time, what we were going to experience in our world were people with operating from these what seemed overinflated egos and controlling everything, and we had to come with a different understanding, or at least I was meant to bring that different understanding to the world. And wow.
See,
Yes.
But accepting, and then the healing, that's what we're doing. And when healing is about us coming to own ourselves, and but then when we do that, the planet does the same thing, and
it is
that's what we're
connection.
moving through.
Like I came to that healing is connection. And
Yes.
when we connect, we heal. And because we're so trimmed to be disconnected, we're so programmed
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
disconnected. It's so easy to get lost in thoughts or in eating or in whatever like physical activity that we do. But like how about bringing to awareness how we do what we do? So it's not just like not that eating is bad, but how am I eating?
All right.
In German we have a saying fressen. It's like just shuffling it into you
Mhm.
without actually like enjoying it or tasting it, the texture, the con yeah, the texture, you know, like just like everything about it,
Mhm.
and to really enjoy it. But how many of us are not doing it, and me included? I've been there so many times, and still, like, sometimes I have finished my food and I haven't been aware of it, and I'm like, what the fuck? What have I done? Because I've
All right.
been lost in my thoughts, or I was contemplating about something, rather than to be grateful for the food that's on my table, you know? And it's very easy for us to get lost. So again, winning generation, it is time for us to become conscious about how we do what we do, but we can all eat, we can all enjoy it, but how do we enjoy it? Do we really enjoy it, you know? Or are we telling ourselves, oh yeah, sure, I enjoy my food, but just because I think I enjoy my food doesn't mean that I enjoy my food. Just because I think I'm a loving person doesn't mean that I am actually a loving person. You know, I gotta be it. Anja mentioned this before. It's a knowing. It's a
Right.
knowing that is like your entire body knows it. It doesn't need to talk about it when it knows. It doesn't need to prove itself when it knows.
And we always have to remember that we have prior programming and then we get programming when we come into the world, and so we have to move through that. When I was growing up, we had this thing, like, well, still I guess a lot of people do, like, you can't leave the table until you eat absolutely everything. You have to do this, and so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
start
yeah.
forming these different ideas about food, and
Bullshit.
it just becomes so different. And you can think back to our parents or grandparents, and they had a very different idea, especially those who went through times like that. I think that came through when people were going through the depression, where you didn't have anything, so you couldn't waste anything. They're all different kinds of ideas that we get programmed in, and we have to find ours. That becomes what feels natural, what is feels right for me, and that's the journey.
That's where we come to.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And I will
Yes.
tell you, if somebody goes to the site, and I put this up, if anybody goes to anyadvicefortoday.com, they can see in 2025, if they go from each date from now through February 1st, they'll see an order of our progression. And
Wow.
I couldn't have figured that out. And when I tell people that, it just doesn't make any sense, because I didn't sit down. I'm just receiving the information. I'm just a direct channel. So I'm not conscious of what's coming through, or the dates, or any of that. And so it was shocking to me when it started to be revealed that it was organized, and that's why they called it a phenomenon, the Wilhelm phenomenon. And but it's about bringing awareness and healing to every person. And in that session, I heard very clearly, it says this work can heal any, can cause any person to become who they could be, or something, and heal your world or something. And I listened to that, and that says that's way too big, but I've experienced it. It's just about the belief.
And let's breathe that in
Mhm.
again, like taking a deep breath in, like
Mhm.
Mm.
You know, it's a beautiful time to be alive. It really is.
And I
And
went,
please.
I just have to be complete. We're being authentic here. Um, I was never going to do live channeling. For however many years, all I did was write every day, and I maybe sometimes would speak something, but I was never going to do live channeling until 2021 when they said, you have to start. They said, we have too much to say. Your world is going to go through so many changes and you have the information. You have to start. And I remember I'm sitting on my bed and I'm hearing this. I'm going, no, I'm not going to do it. They said, well, you might have to break. And what that meant is that if I'm not going to own what I was given, then I'm going to have some difficult times. And that's for each of us. If we can't own what we have, and I was giving myself difficult times, that's for sure.
This is why things get like why we get lost and why we think or we may think that life is difficult is because we're not doing what we're meant to do.
Yes.
So life is always icky and yucky if we're not doing what we're actually here to do. And let me tell you, I've been there as well. I've went through hell and back in this
Yes.
life. Yeah.
And it takes a while for us to listen. I had a coach when they told me that I had this work. I said, no, it couldn't possibly be. They said, you have the work that could help any person during this time. And I went and had an Akashic Records reading done because I needed to get some verification because they told me exactly what it was. I heard the name of it. They said, we've given you a philosophy. It's called your life operating instructions because your world needs to go in a different direction and you have the information. And so when I went to have the reading done, and Jarne saw this, the reading, and she says exactly that. She says, you were in Egypt before and you used to mummify people and used to do all of that. And so, but that was a high job. But she said, in this lifetime, what you're meant to do is open the minds of people because so many are going to be confused. So many are going to be fooled. And so they need to understand the truth of who they are. And then she says at the end, take the path of least resistance, which means doing what was in front of me, what was natural. I resisted. So it's a process.
That you're here,
It is.
Roger. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's love each other and be proud of ourselves.
Yes, thank you.
No,
That's why I needed this. I needed you guys.
we are here for you. We are here
Being
for you.
proud, yeah, and humble. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Um,
Amazing. Yeah, from your side, is there anything else you would like to share for today, Anja? What's on your heart?
Wow. When we are talking about authenticity, like this is a very, very powerful word for me
Mhm,
because I'm very much active in business world as well, you know,
mhm,
and I show up like for last 2, 3 years, I'm showing up just like here. Yeah. Just like here, I'm showing up also in business world. And for some, it was like, that doesn't fit there. Oh, yes, it does.
mhm.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yes.
So now we are building this empire, based on authenticity, based on, awareness, consciousness. And
Mhm,
I'm so grateful and I'm so happy to be alive in this time and just, to hang out with you, beautiful souls. And yeah, just to experience this life because it's unique. And nowhere else in the universe we can experience what we're experiencing on Earth. So
Right.
I'm well aware of that.
And especially at this time.
Yeah.
That's the way that it looks or feels to many of us is purposeful because it's causing us, moving us to that greater acceptance of ourselves, which will be the world that we will create. And so
Mm-hmm.
we have to destroy the old part within us and out there before we can move to the new, and that's what we're doing.
I love
This
you.
is what
I love you both.
the rebirth is all about.
Yes.
Like even what Jesus was talking about. It is like that. Like you gotta let go of something old in order for yourself to be born new
Right.
again, and like it's always like this. Our cell body, every single cell in my body is new in 7 years. So what the fuck can happen in 7 years? Like a lot of things, you know?
I could do.
And yeah, we have to come to a place of belief again.
Oh, I could. People are
Hmm.
listening. Did they? Should I do some birthday messages?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. You can.
If they
Um,
want, if anybody wants to give a their just their month and date, I can find a message.
okay, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
would
So
really recommend you to
if
do that.
anyone got like a birth date for themselves that they would like to type into the chat so
Yeah.
Roger can read anything from it, feel free
I
to do
think we
so.
can see chat from every platform, but YouTube, I think it's here. I don't know if others
Yeah.
are as well.
And if there is nothing coming in, I will provide mine.
And mine.
Oh, there were some questions. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
see these. A higher self. Wilhelm is a universal. I know Bashar, but no, it's not. It's different. Um, Wilhelm is a collective consciousness, and so it's not necessarily connected to anyone else because their point was that we're all connected, and so this is about the demonstration is that we are all connected, and that they're just prompting us basically to make that internal connection for each of us, because they said sometimes when you see channelers that you think that they're the only ones who can do it, and Wilhelm wanted to say no, you can all do it, and they're just because it's about that
Mm-hmm.
connection. It doesn't have to be in the same form, but yeah.
Yeah. And everyone is doing channeling, like my own personal opinion and experience
Mm.
is from like tuning into their higher selves and channeling from that place, from their
Okay,
higher
I
self,
don't need,
because our
yeah,
higher self has
June
the
4th.
wisdom.
I
Yeah,
don't need
June
the, I don't
4th.
want the year. uh okay, June 4th, let's just do June
June
4th.
4th.
Okay, and let's see what comes up. and and then you'll let us know how much, if this resonates. Now again, they said the messages will resonate for every single person, but for this person it'll have a different kind of meaning, and it will be this. Oops, sorry. uh June 4th. Flexibility is admirable and also indicates your willingness to trust the integrity of your physical life experience. Inflexibility, on the other hand, is a sign that you believe you already know it all and are unwilling to expand or accept new information and wisdom. Your goal is always to gain new experiences, for they bring you more awareness. You are always making choices as to whether or not it is more important for you to be right in your own thinking or more important to continually evolve. Conflicts with others are born in inflexibility, while cooperation brings a momentum of forward progression, meaning expansion. That was the message. And our person, did that make sense for you?
He will probably
Is,
play in
did you?
YouTube.
Oh yeah. Well,
The moment that you mentioned flexibility, I was like, wow, I feel the connection between him and like and just what you were saying. So I could personally feel a resonance in the field, which was beautiful. Yeah.
great. Okay.
Amazing. Yeah, let's see. Like we're ramping up this thing.
Mhm.
Feel free to let us know in the comments still how this resonated with you. And even for our further episodes, let us know what you would like us to talk about. We are in. We won't stop until it's done. And
We're having
it's
fun.
we're having fun, exactly. So yeah, much love. Really let us know how you
Yes.
liked it, what inspired you. Leave us a like, share it with the people that you love. It really means a lot to us. We are on a mission to yeah, really help us all heal from the trauma that we've experienced in the past. It's been a very challenging time on Earth, and it's time for us to come together and to start winning because we all are sick of losing. We lost too much.
Uh,
So,
oh,
time to
very
ramp up. Yes. All right,
wonderful.
guys. Being right versus being in love. and I needed to stop slipping nuanced hairs.
Good. Oh, perfect. Good.
India Dolores is listening to us too.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, blessings
Great to
to
see you,
you.
India.
Yeah. All right, guys. See
Okay.
you in the next one.
Yes.
Peace.
Thanks.
Bye.